let's just go back to Senior Bowl first. What was that like week to go through?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's an exciting week. There's a lot of, emotions, and there's a lot of, excitement around the whole week. But I think it's, for me, it was a lot about just trying to stay in the moment, stay where my feet are, make sure I'm focusing on the right things, which was, the playbook, the American game, and making sure that I showcased the best that I could.
How did you deal with all of the media hype? Because you get invited there, you're a Canadian, and the American media took to you too.
Yeah, I think a little bit of it is just, shutting off your phone and making sure that I'm focusing on the right things like I was talking about, but also, understanding that it's nice to have, a country behind your back and, appreciate the support and, let it give me a little bit of energy throughout the week and let it, fuel my excitement and intensity, I think.
It didn't seem like it got to you though.
Yeah.
I heard the first thing you did when you got there was drop your bags and was asking where's a patch of grass that I can start learning the playbook with everybody else.
For sure. I mean, yeah, I think that, media stuff is awesome and it's amazing to feel the support from people, but ultimately my job is to go play football and to go, make sure that I'm doing the best of my ability. And so I think that was my goal when I got to Senior Bowl, was not to, let it be an experience that's just one experience for me. I want this to be my career, and so make sure that I took the most advantage of it that I could.
What was that like for you to be at the Senior Bowl where everybody in the NFL was there? Head coaches, general managers. Did you feel pressure or did you approach it just like football?
I think it's an exciting challenge. I think that, pressure is a privilege is something that I like to say. And so, seeing all those eyes there is something that I want. I want, people to be able to see me throw live. I want them to, be able to see my arm and see my physical abilities and watch me lead and command on the field. And so I think I just viewed it as a really good opportunity for me.
What was your personal takeaway after Senior Bowl?
Yeah, that, I felt like I belonged and I felt like, I could play with these guys, and it was my job to just continue to put in work and trust the process and trust the plan that God has for me, and allow that to be, a fueler and a motivator to keep working hard.
And then what was some of the NFL feedback that you got after?
Yeah, I mean, I think that for me it was some of the stuff I talked about, make sure that I'm cleaning up my technique on my drops. Obviously they're, excited with me and thought that I had a good week, but there's always lots of stuff that I can improve on, especially for me in terms of timing and making sure the balls come out in rhythm and on time. And so I think it just kind of gave me good insight on what to focus on in the next little bit.
Did you get some feedback from your coach that week, Mike Kafka, him, having been a quarterback in the league and now a coach?
Yeah, Kafka and also, Jason Vrabel from the Packers, having both of them there was really, nice for me. Offensive guys that, obviously have done pass game in the NFL for a while now. And so, yeah, a lot of that was similar feedback. Kafka also just said to me one time, just like play free, let it rip, and don't think too much. And I think that, that's an important thing that I always got to remember is just like let the ball go. I can play with these guys and just go out there and have fun.
A lot of people talk about interviews or how many teams that you've talked to. Is there a number that you would peg that at, or because you were at the Senior Bowl, you kind of figured you've talked to an individual from one of the 32 teams?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Senior Bowl that's one of the best parts about it is you get to talk with everybody from every organization. And so, I don't, have a specific number, but it would be close to everyone, if not everyone, just because of, all that whole circuit that I've gone through, getting the chance to talk to different scouts from different organizations, and obviously the Senior Bowl, everyone's there. So
after the Senior Bowl, to get ready for your pro day, what were you doing?
Yeah, I was down in Alabama with Ben Neal in quarterback country, and I was, training down there for the last little while, and just working on, for me putting on a little bit of weight. I was happy that I weighed in a bit heavier today at 227, and that was one thing for me, that I was a little lighter as I was going through that All-Star game circuit, just flying around different places, and so making sure I got in the best shape possible and was ready to go out there today and rip it.
How did you feel about your performance at Buffalo?
Yeah, I thought I had a good day today. Like, you don't get a ton of time with these receivers before you go out there and throw a whole script. And so I thought that, we did a good job. We completed a bunch of the stuff that we worked on. Obviously, some of the deep balls, there's near misses, and the guys' legs are dying after they run a 40 and a pro agility and a 5-10-5 and all that stuff. So, obviously you're never going to have a perfect day, but I thought we had a good showing today for sure.
What's it like for you to have Buffalo sort of embrace you and the Canadians to come down here to show yourselves, because it's easier for the American scouts to get to?
Yeah, I mean, we're super appreciative of it. I think that not only the staff, the facility are amazing, but also the players. We worked together the last couple of days, and they've been nothing but awesome in terms of embracing us and being excited for our successes as well. So I think it's just been a great experience overall.
Have you had a moment yet through this process where you've been awestruck by somebody that you saw or talked to as the NFL draft process plays out?
Yeah, I think that, once you get into that NFL world, there's a lot of faces you see, a lot of people in conversations you have, that you're like, wow, this is this person. And I guess for me, one of them sticks out as Dable in the interview. You know, he's a cool guy and with the Giants, and I think that it was, you know, a fun time. And obviously he's, you know, a really smart football guy, and so being able to kind of go through some protections with him, have him joke around about, you know, the northern side of the border, you know, it was a fun interview for sure.
He's got some roots up here. Do you guys talk about that? I mean, Canada.
He joked around a little bit about, you know, the food and all that, but no, it was a lighthearted interview for sure. It was fun.
And was that at the Senior Bowl?
Yeah.
And was he talking to you about, you know, scheme or where you might fit in with them?
Yeah, we did some, you know, recall stuff, which is pretty typical at a lot of these interviews, is they want to, you know, see how you can regurgitate information as a quarterback. And so, you know, installing a protection, you know, giving me a blitz and asking me to make a call, and seeing how I would adjust protection to different situations, or going through film and asking me, you know, where am I supposed to be, what am I looking at. And so definitely in terms of playbook and scheme, there's a lot that you go through in those interviews.
If there's a quarterback in the NFL right now that you model your game most after, who would it be and why?
Yeah, I think for me it's Stafford. I think that, you know, his leadership abilities and tangibles has been on display for a long time. I think that he throws the ball through a lot of different arm slots and is a tough dude. And I think that, you know, we play a similar type of game. Obviously, you know, Josh Allen is pretty special, and, you know, we have similar size, so I'd like to say him, but we'll see when we get to the next level if I can roll like he does.
Have you met either of those guys yet, Stafford?
I haven't yet, so hopefully, you know, in the near future maybe we will.
What's next for you between now and draft day?
Yeah, just getting back to work, you know, working on the same fundamentals, techniques, and things that I need to continue to progress in my game, and hopefully, you know, interviewing with a lot of teams and being able to go on a 30 visit or get on calls with them and kind of get to know their staff, and they get to know me.
Have you been doing calls with teams since the Senior Bowl?
No, since the Senior Bowl, it's been kind of focused on the Pro Day, and I think that now, you know, Pro Day's done, and then we're on the stretch of the draft. This is really a stretch where they're going to, you know, turn up the heat on the interviews and really want to get to know who the guys are that they could potentially bring into their building. And so I'm excited for the, you know, next little bit to, you know, really have those conversations with teams.